gonna take this
It's live.
stuff off the cushion here.
Blake, what are you doing?
Jeez, Blake. You ain't even started anything. And you already messed us up.
Well, I can't reach the floor.
I get it live, and then you mess it up. Oh, no one's watching anyways, so we're good.
Hi
There you go,
guys. I'm just over here hanging out.
Blake.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's his channel.
that's fine.
I feel weird.
Why,
Hey,
'cause
you
you're-
really can't reach the ground, can you?
because you're the same height as me now, sitting down.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
Setting up.
Oh, this is packed. You guys just go ahead and jump right on us there.
Not 7 yet. 2 minutes yet.
We're just waiting.
Hey, you guys got all your sunglasses on and stuff?
Yeah, put your glasses on.
We're in the sunny state.
Redfin.
Red fin sunglasses.
Oh, what do you got?
Oh,
You want to borrow my red pen?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a little
Here.
early.
I'll trade you out.
I don't think so.
It's Anna's 21st birthday today. It's your 21st birthday today.
29. 36.
You're almost to your
I
prime.
hope they can't hear that music. They probably can.
They can.
Yeah. Give us some backbeats.
So
You can ask a question. They can hear
yeah,
it.
we got a few minutes here. Get fired off. Oh, what a week!
It was a good week though.
Oh yeah, fantastic actually.
Practice, everything was good.
Like it was the funnest practice.
100%.
We'll have to talk about that. Like,
Yeah.
that place was phenomenal. As far as just the fishery.
I think that was for like everyone. Like even on stage, people were talking about how good this place was. I haven't been to that many elites, so I don't know if they talked about that good, but it was like listen to live. Like everyone was was happy with it.
Yeah.
We're up to 4. Look at that.
Let's go. Let's go. We'll get us a couple. We'll start here in about another minute.
Yeah,
Get it rolling.
probably.
Get it rolling. So
Another minute on the dot.
Dots. We'll just show the video. I see.
$6.59.
on the time, on the ride.
About time. We're about 2 weeks late.
Yeah,
About time to rhyme.
we'll have to talk about that.
Should we talk about how Kyle Patrick
Sank.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk
'Cause that will definitely sing better than him.
I wouldn't say that too loud there, kid.
I will, but I don't want to.
we're gonna have auditions tonight?
Yeah.
All right, 7 o'clock. Let's get this thing rolling.
Most us off, hey, Ron.
Welcome back to another Tourney Talk live stream. Luke Palmer, Blake Caps, and doesn't matter who I am.
Yes, you're on Mercer.
I did make Mercer's podcast the other morning, but we are here, South Carolina, Chapin, South Carolina, with some of the best dudes, best families, you name it. We're here. Met them a few years ago back when we fished Lake Murray, and now they are putting us up for the off week in between now and Lake Hartwell. And literally, Luke and I talked about it yesterday on our 6.5 hour drive over here, that it seemed like it took us 18 hours to get here because we were so wound up to get here to hang out with these guys because they are some of the best dudes in the world. But that's where we're at, staying at a good buddy Chris's house. Beautiful place. They just built it, in-ground pool in the back.
We're about to test that out.
Yeah. 85 degrees. Finally got some good weather. We're feeling
Sunburn.
good. So, but we're going to jump into this. Just finished up Pasquotank River, North Carolina. These boys did their job, and I will let them get into it. But again, we've been a little off the beaten path on the Tourney Talk. Last Thursday, we had some issues, not with anything with the live stream, but we had boat stuff we had to figure out because the waves were so wild. So we had things to get figured out, and it was just tourney stuff. That's why we call it Tourney Talk. But we're here on a Monday. We're going to let this thing roll, let these guys get at it, fill you in on their tournament, how it went, practice, the whole work. So let's roll.
That was it was a fishery that the elites haven't been. What they talk? It's been 35, 40, 44 years or something since they've been there.
Older than me and Luke.
Almost.
Not Luke by
Hey,
much.
yeah, not me by much. But, that was really cool because even like all of us do research. Everybody's got YouTube they looked at, tournament results, and there's just not a lot on that pond. And that's not even considered a pond. That damn thing is
There's not.
like it is huge. So it was really a big unknown. And we only have 3 days of practice. So it was like, holy cow, what are we gonna do? And there's not a lot of ramps. The ramps were small, the ones you did find to put in on. Even the one we come out of wasn't a big ramp, but they did a very good job with us. They blocked off 2 blocks for us to park on the road. So Elizabeth City really showed out for us. The crowds were phenomenal. The people were second
So
to none.
great.
Like if we went out and ate, we just went out and ate one night, probably wasn't. Me and Blake ate at the Mexican place one other time. But the people would just walk by your table and say, hey, we're really appreciative you guys showing up, bringing our city available, showing us what great fishery we have here. So it was really neat. I got to work. I had to work the Yamaha booth Sunday because I didn't top 10 it. And the people coming around were just so grateful we were there. So that's awesome when we show up to a place and people are just pumped and glad that we're there. That makes being away from home a touch easier, but it still sucks in that part of it. But we appreciate Elizabeth City.
I
great.
feel like, let's be honest.
You sign autographs even.
I even signed autographs. That's when people show up. But no, what I was going to touch on is, everybody watched it go down. Welcher absolutely smashed
It's
him.
awesome.
But a lot of times when that happens, I feel like the crowd numbers will drop because everybody knows who. He had what did he win by? 30
900-pound.
Yeah,
I think he won by 45.
Yeah, 40 some pounds, whatever he won by.
He won by more than what I weighed in 3 days.
Yeah, everyone knew who was going to win it.
Not this guy, but me.
And so why come to weigh in? But that place, Sabine River, we talk about it every time we go there. That place shows out.
Yeah.
And this I would put right up there with it. It was one of the biggest crowds I've ever witnessed. Even on a Saturday. Saturday was unreal. Friday we had rain, like downpour rain, and there was still people packed in there tighter than you could get. Elizabeth City showed out, maybe because we've never been there or haven't been there in years. That's probably has a lot to do with it. But at the same time, the support was pretty awesome to see.
Oh, it was awesome. Like Sunday, like what he was saying, like Luke was working with Yamaha. So I went out there and parked. I don't know how many blocks away from way inside. Couple blocks at least. And I was just going to go work on some tackle, tighten some things up from all that rough water that we went through. And I couldn't even do that. And because there were so many people who were parking 2 or 3 blocks away, who were literally walking up to the boat, talking to me and like signing autographs. I was like, man, this isn't even like normal. Like I didn't even get nothing done because there were so many people out there. So Elizabeth City, North Carolina, no, it's my rookie year, but I don't know if that's normal, but
no, it's not.
It's like I'm very impressed with North Carolina so far.
Yeah, it's the Carolinas. Everybody you talk to, most people out here are just super nice. This is one of my favorite parts of the country, really. South Carolina. I've said that. It might be a little biased because I've won out here, but the people have just been outstanding. It's like our buddies here welcomed us with open arms. And have just been it's our family away from family. This is closer to blood almost pretty much. So it's been good. But the house made both cuts this week. We top 50 those. That was a good thing. Blake gets his first cut on the leads, and he was pumped up, which I was super ecstatic for him anyway too, and I was too, because it's nice to get paid, especially because we burnt an absolute pile of fuel every day. Not in just our boats, our trucks.
The boat ramps are so scattered on this place too. Like, how many boat ramps we put in on this week?
I know the one day that we went across the ocean, we went to 3 different ones before we found one to put in at, and it was an hour and a half from the house.
Yeah.
And I think you stayed over there, but me and Aaron put in like 3 other ramps that day alone.
Yeah, because I went back to that Chow one that day too. Yeah.
So we bounced around, and it wasn't the areas that you would get in and fish. These places are massive, but you would run into, we call them creeks back home, but these were major rivers off the sound.
It's insane.
And it looked like they were, 2 inches long on the map, but it was like 6 to 20 miles from the mouth to the back. And there wasn't very many feeder creeks off of it. And plus we had wind every single day here.
There was one day in the tournament, on day 2, we didn't have like crazy winds.
You must have been on a different part than I was, because I was.
That wasn't
It wasn't
crazy.
near as bad. But by God, day one was probably top 3 of the worst I've been in.
Day 3 was the worst for me because the direction that it was
You
blowing.
got scared. You got scared and didn't run it.
An hour later, I decided I need to turn around. And was still running.
Wind was out of the north, and he was fishing on the south end. And when we're talking wind, it was. It was over 20. Yeah. Gusts were well over 20. I mean, sustained, they said 12 to 15, but it damn sure didn't feel like that. It felt like Oklahoma wind, and it was gas. And we called him a sissy. We said, Blake, you going? He's like, I'm going. I was like, you've been both days. You got to go now, sissy. He went out there and he turned around, but I don't blame him. It was me and Aaron shut down the first area. We ran over 40 minutes one way, running 65, and we got there, and I said, do you think Blake went? And he's like, I don't know. Well, we passed everybody that was in front of us that day.
Yeah.
I kind of sent her to the moon. And but we got there, and I said, boy, if Blake went, it's going to be bad. And we got to when we were coming back, I was like, did he come in? Like, I was legit kind of a little bit worried because it's bad.
And
like
the way that it laid,
it was,
and they just kept getting bigger and bigger. And Gerald Swindle said it best on stage. He said, like, me and Luke, we both run Phoenix. We run the best ride of both there is. Gerald said it. He's like, it doesn't matter if using the Titanic. That place was rough.
You could have had a 42-foot Freeman and been like, yeah, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. But you could just tell how good a fishery it was by the weights.
Oh, it was insane.
Kyle found something that said was going to. I told Aaron before he even got here, I said it's going to be one within 2 miles of the ramp.
Yeah,
because it's the most consistent river out of the entire place.
You even take Kyle though, like look at like Bass Track and everyone. The weights were so spread out. Everywhere they went, they were catching them. So
it wasn't just one area only caught them. I mean, which I don't know. We can't say only one area because
true.
3 or 4 of the top 10 I think were close. I didn't get to watch much live, which I worked Saturday or Sunday, and I got to fish for 3 days, so Aaron had to work for once.
But could you imagine? We were only getting fish for like what 2.5, maybe 3 hours on a lot of the places. Like
I was running an hour.
I mean, most of the guys don't drive 15 miles an hour like you do.
Yeah. Everybody else puts a little bit.
Yeah, we were going across the big water. You guys were cutting it. So,
son, there was nothing about that water on day one that wasn't big.
Oh, I know.
It was, but for a lot of people in Oklahoma, Texoma, that's what this place really reminded me of as far as the waves, because there was no consistency. Like I told, and me and Coop Galon even talked about it. He said, I would rather run on Lake Ontario in this wind than I would here, because it wasn't like the waves were just massive. They were just 2 to 4 foot, and they were just stacked. You could never get a trough and run it.
They were inconsistent.
You'd hit 2.5, 3 footers, and all of a sudden it would be a footer. Then all of a sudden you'd hit a 4, and it would just come out of nowhere. So very inconsistent because the wind it was coming around all those different points and bays and stuff. So, but
I know they were 5 footers because I went through a couple of them and I could reach up and touch the top of
them. They're only 4.5 foot tall.
So they were about 5.5
foot.
Yeah.
So. And now over that, besides, if the wind wouldn't have blown, the conditions changed every single day that we were.
Yeah, we were on a cold front too.
A major cold front for them. Right. Well, probably not them.
Well, let's talk about day one. How was day one when it was warm?
Hell, I didn't catch nothing on day one till late.
Fun day one.
Well, for you it was. Hell, I didn't catch. Well, but compared to practice.
That's practice. Day one of practice.
Day one of practice. This was the dumbest place I'd ever been in practice because it was so good. And I don't mean dumb and bad. Like it was just, this is a shallow water fishery, big time. There's cypress trees everywhere. There's laydowns.
You don't know where to start because there's so many of them.
And you could literally, and there was a little bit of a shat spawn. Water was in the low to mid 70s. It was, you could literally, I mean, which we're both booyah guys. We picked up a booyah covert finesse and a chatterbait, and you didn't have to lay it down the entire time you were here, and you caught fish from daylight to dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
Some of the most fun I've ever had.
I mean, if you could have just come here to fun fish, it was awesome.
Not saying they were all big.
No, you caught a lot of 1.5 or 2 pounders, but several from that 2 to 3, 3.25 pound fish. And I mean, how much funner does that get throwing a spinnerbait and 6 inches of water on
right next to a tree
and just getting railed the whole time? So it was awesome. I'm really hoping we come back to it, just because maybe a little bit different time of year. That
you want to come earlier or later?
I
think either or would be great.
It would be great. The few people, we had tons of people come talk to us, but after we were done fishing, no information, after it was over with, people would come up and talk, and they're like, man, you guys were really you're in that 2 to 3 week window that it's kind of iffy right now. If we'd come another 2 or 3 weeks later, they said the frog bite gets phenomenal. If we'd been 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks earlier, the pre-spawn bite was phenomenal, because we caught a lot of fish that were 3 pounders that would have probably been 4, 4.25. So the 20-pound bags could have been phenomenal. I mean,
it was actually a place that there was a lot of guys talking about what's going on? Are they pre-spawn, post-spawn, or spawning? There was, and we also hit it on a full moon. There was all 3 stages going on. So you didn't know what you was going to catch every day.
And I was really kind of being a shallow water place. Normally shallow water places have a hard time holding up, but this place was so massive. No matter where you went, there was a couple of boats in each area, but nobody was the North River got throttled. There was just several guys up there, but even there, that place is still big. It held up really well. The Yayo Pen, I'm not saying any of these names right. The Paraquims, the Chowan, the Roanoke, Alligator, Pasquotank, everything played. There was guys out of the top 10 from
we spread out great. Yeah,
it was. So I mean, you weren't fishing on top of each other too much, so it was fun. If the wind wouldn't have blown, guys would have made some major runs, and I think we would have really seen this place show out. And guys would only fish for an hour to 3 hours in areas, and would have still been able to catch 15 to 18 pounds.
But even with that being said, that just shows how good and how secretive this place has been for so long, because none of us can even pronounce this river.
Well, how many guys that are from North Carolina? You got Matt Airy, you got people like that, Shane LaHue. I mean, you know what I mean? That are we've never been here. Yeah. You got people like Patrick Walters that lives literally right where
he said
we're
duck
at.
Hunt is what
he's duck hunted there, but he's never been there. And then you show up there and you got a fishery like that. That's like saying, some people have never been to Santee Cooper. Yeah. I mean, really, that's what it is. I mean, you got a fishery like that pumps them out like that. But
there were so many locals who were walking around the way, and it's man, I'm so glad you guys are here, but man, I'm they're upset that we opened up the can of worms for them, because
so this is definitely, I think
it's
this
been a hidden jewel. I don't know how it's so big.
This could be one of those lakes now that Bassmaster, when they do the top 100, that's going to show up now.
It's got to be way up there.
It's going to show up, and so.
Well, I mean, you think about how many places pump out a Century Belt. There's not very many places that do that.
We did it on a cold front too.
Yeah, and this one pumped out a Century Belt.
And records.
We're going to be back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the water literally in one area I started on day one in the tournament had dropped 15 degrees.
Yeah.
And the wind blew it out. It's a tidal fishery, but the wind determines this place a lot more than any other. And literally it had dropped a foot to a foot and a half in areas.
And that took me, especially Luke as well, because we knew it was a tide and we didn't know there was a swing, but this place is crazy on how much it swings by the wind alone, not necessarily the tide.
Yeah, because on day 2, me and Aaron went into a day, I practiced on day 3, and it was a really flat creek. And we barely got in there. And I found some 3-foot water in there and caught several 2.5 pounders in it. And I pulled in there day 2, and I was like, man, I don't know if there's going to be enough water for me to get on pad once I get in there. Well, I get in there, and the water had rose. and I catch a 6-pounder out there and another 2.5, which gave me a pretty good solid bag on day 2. I didn't expect to catch that.
Yeah.
But on day 3, Aaron Cameron was my camera guy, or was with me, and we're running. I'm like, man, I don't know if I should go in there because the water has fell out everywhere else. Did it fall out in there?
Yeah.
You know, so having that non-knowing, it's kind of different. So, but it was a neat place. You know, I'm looking forward to it going back because it is you can go simple on that place.
Oh, 100%.
You could put 4 or 5 rods on the deck.
That's all I had.
And they could all actually probably have pretty much the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it did change on day 3 for me big time. You know, I caught everything on a chatterbait and a booyah covert finesse, everything on day 1. Day 2 or day 3, I don't know if I caught a couple on a buzzbait and a couple on a spinnerbait.
Caught mine on a buzzbait.
But not a keeper.
Not a
all
keeper.
short.
I picked up a woolly bug and caught every single fish. Like I ran out of the color I was catching them on. Like it was call your shot. No one was in. One other guy was in there, and we had the whole river to ourselves, besides some locals that were in there, and caught them pretty good. Like 1 bite away from top 10 in this deal. So
Yeah.
and it was actually a place that I didn't expect to catch them out of. I caught my fish in a different area every single day of the tournament.
That's what's cool too. Like,
yeah, you can settle. You could actually go to one creek arm and say, I'm going to stay here all day and see what happens and just settle down and fish because they live
that's what I did on day
from
2.
the front to back on
Yeah.
this.
And it makes sense because after the tournament, Blake and I were sitting in the wherever we're 2-3 blocks off, and all the locals, a couple locals, I shouldn't say all of them, but they came up to us and they said that you run a stretch, you could run it for 20 miles, but you're going to have a stretch of 100 yards, and those fish are going to set up there. You're going to crack them, but you could just keep rotating through there, and you're going to crack them every like half hour to an hour because those fish are just going to keep reloading.
And that's 100%
And that
true,
plays right into Welcher's deal. Welcher sat in the same area,
He did.
and all them fish just kept reloading.
And in Welcher's defense, and whatever you want to call it, he had a bad practice. Like, you know, we talked to him and stuff, and he thought he could catch a big fish in one spot, and he went there and caught 2 big ones. Well, then he went to leave. Well, he's like, well, I got nothing else that good. So he had 2 fish for like 15 pounds on day 1. So he's like, why don't I go back there and try to maybe catch a 3rd one? And
We caught 30 pounds.
yeah, he also had a 2-pounder on, and he lost a 7. So like,
Yeah.
and so like what Aaron was saying, like these locals were saying, like, if you find a good area, like they go there, and it was so true in practice because we went to different areas, we went to different boat ramps, and the way like me and Luke like to fish, we cover water, and it like set up in our wheelhouse perfect. It's, you know, there's a high percentage spot where you just keep going, and then it's like if you get around them, it's like they've never seen a bait before. It was,
But that's a big thing too with tidal fisheries. When things are right, though, you can catch them, and they do. They eat whenever that tide's moving or the wind's pushing that water. They really eat. But I've got to fish Winyah Bay my rookie year, and there was a major tide swing there. Like you'd be fishing down a ditch, and you'd be fishing 4 or 5 foot of water, and you come back 3 or 4 hours later, and that you couldn't even hardly get in that ditch anymore. But as soon as that water would come up, then fish would pull back in there, and you just wreck them again. So I mean, it's just whenever that water moves, they bite. And that's just, you know, it's like a dinner bell for us. When the bell rings, we're going to eat. Whenever it's not, we're just hanging out.
I think there's a bell ringing.
Yeah, there's
That's
one.
that's a drinking bell.
Okay.
That's a drinking bell. But we're going to answer this question.
Oh yeah.
Blake, are you ready for Hartwell? Who's going to finish higher, you or Luke? Boy, that's shooting shots here.
Well,
you better be careful. You ain't going to have anybody to room with.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to finish higher next week, but we're going to both make the cut.
Oh,
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. Yeah. No, I've never been to Hartwell. I'm excited for it. You know, clear water don't scare me at all. Like
You come from 10 killers.
yeah. So like, I'm excited for it. And a lot of like, you know, without taking info, you just heard things for years. Like people like, oh yeah, if you ever go to Hartwell, you're going to love it. And
yeah, it's
I don't
just
know.
like
I may
10 killer.
absolutely hate it though.
It's
but
just like 10 killer.
Yeah.
I mean, almost identical without the rocks and 150 foot of water. And, you know, it does have a tree or two in it. So,
yeah.
But it's a neat place. Like the weights there are always tight. Like
I do got my fairy ones.
It's
Spinning rods ready.
it's it's going to take probably 18 plus a day to win, somewhere right in there. If you can bust a 20-pound bag or a little more, that's going to be big. But it gets fished a lot, and those fish are definitely, they know what's up. They're educated very well. But there's so many fish in that lake. It's big. There's 3 or 4 big arms in it, but there's just so much to fish there. And we're going to be hitting it at a great time. We're going to have spawning fish, post-spawn, pre-spawn, so herring eating.
The weather looks great too.
Yeah. Hell, anything looks better than the weather we've had the last 2 weeks to fish out of.
Every elite this year.
Oh, yeah, ever at least.
Yeah.
So what we got?
We got Lucky Tackle.
Yeah, I don't know
North
what he
Carolina's
is.
great.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of good stuff. And he's right. North Carolina, it's kind of that hidden gem. Isn't there?
Like the Outer Banks.
Yeah, kind of. But like,
I wasn't expecting North Carolina to be warmer than Oklahoma. That actually did.
it wasn't. It was warmer last week in Oklahoma than it was over here.
Water temp wise. Yeah. Water
Water temperature wise, it was. Yeah. But I think they haven't had those few real cold snaps that we had late. So I think that was a big difference. But overall, it was a neat place. I kind of hope
why don't we jump into top 3 baits that you use there that you had success?
I love this because we're gonna have the same 3 answers.
Yeah, honestly, anytime.
Don't give away the juice. You only placed 13th.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. It was terrible. No, it was I strictly had a chatterbait. I think chatterbait was 90% the first day. The second day, that covert finesse caught him with that turtle blade on it. Like, I love that. That's been one of my favorite blades on spinnerbait since I was a kid. Like, I used to have some spinnerbaits made.
It's an Oklahoma blades, but a lot of guys call it.
It's close to it. And then when I picked up a woolly bug on day 3, I was like right at home. And I had not caught very many fish off that in practice at all. Aaron got to go with me on day 3 of practice like he always does. And I caught some flipping, but you're wanting to cover water so much that slowing down and flipping was a hard thing to do. But whenever that water fell out, I felt like those fish got a lot tighter to the cover. And plus a cold front. The water in that area I was in, I think it dropped 10 or 12 degrees. And they were so tight to that cover. And it was.
Well, it don't help awesome. That we pulled up the first 2 fish in the morning. And we got there at 7:50 probably after a 40-minute run. Got there at 7:50. We had 2 2-pounders in the box by 8.
Yeah.
And they both hit a woolly bug.
Yeah.
And knowing Luke Palmer, whatever he catches them on, he'll throw it on the deck and he won't touch it the rest of the day.
I did. As soon as I left the tree, I picked up a spinnerbait and chatterbait, and I lost 7 or 8. They would just come up and hit it. They wouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
And but when I pulled up and I said, let's just go back in this creek and fish for a while and see if I can at least get a limit, because if not, we're about to burn every drop of gas I got in this boat. And we pulled in there, and hell, I think it was the first little ditch I came through. I pitched up there, boom, and he went sideways, and I absolutely smacked it. It was right at 6. And I was like, we ain't leaving. We're staying here the rest of the day.
We're not leaving, but I'm going to pick up that spinnerbait, and I'm going to keep throwing that instead of the woolly bug.
Nah,
and as a camera guy, I go, oh, my God, why again? Pick the thing up and just slow fish. And he got the hint.
Yeah, I picked it. They were so predictable. After the first fish,
you were calling shots on every point.
I was like, well, right here's going to happen. Right here's going to happen. This tree's going to have one. And it was one of those, it was a fun day. It was stressful because whenever you fish these enough, you have a feeling of what you got to have.
Yeah.
And I knew I had one that was less than 2 pounds. I was like, if I can get rid of that with a 4, I'll have a legit shot to make it. That's what I needed to make it,
Yeah.
So, but it was
when you can call shots to the point where he's flipping and I'm like right there. Like, I don't say anything, but in my head,
he knows when to hit record on.
Yeah, I know where. Literally, I hit record before he even flips in there because we had it that dialed that day.
Yeah.
You just knew what cypress tree was going to have a fish on it, the way it's set up, the way the current was going, the way the tide was coming up. You knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it was like bing, bing. We joked about it all day.
Yeah.
We called that one. We called that one. We called that one. You knew what was going on. And
for sure.
It's just when you're in that kind of deal.
Absolutely. And then following up with the original question, so like on day one for me, like I didn't know how much the tide was affecting things compared to the wind, and where I was going, the wind, it was definitely more wind driven, and the wind pulled it all out where I was at, so it was super low. And where I was at on day 1 and 2, actually, like I was on the phone with Luke when I was in there in practice when it was high, and it was just nonstop. Like it was fast. Like I mean, how many fish did we?
I talked to him for 10 minutes and he caught 12 fish.
Yeah.
Like it was done. Every cast, he's like, "Oh, got another. Oh, got another." I'm
Yeah.
like,
I was like, I
ain't
gotta
caught squat yet, so I don't like you right now.
yeah. So like it was so much fun. Well, I had to go there. So, but like I said, that's when I figured out the wind definitely drove the level more than anything. And that's where I should have made a change faster, because I was throwing a bladed jig and I just kept missing them. And then I finally picked up that spinner bait, which would allow it to float a little shallower where you could slow it down just a little bit on that low water. And it would just like,
And nailed it.
oh, it just, yeah. Oh my goodness. It was so much fun. And definitely had some missed opportunities on day number 1 that cost me long term. Like I shouldn't have been the bubble guy, but it's just part of it. But yeah, that place, I just can't quit talking about how good it was.
It was fun. It was the funnest
How
practice.
about that? Poly.
So on day 3, so we'll just talk about this. So, Bass is doing some really big things on where they're pushing polygraphs. I'm not against it. Whatever, like if you're doing things right, what's the big deal, right? If they polygraphed every one of us, that's fine. As long as we're all doing the right thing, it's no biggie.
Yeah.
Bass does a random number. So if you finish in this place, these are the guys who are going to get polygraphs just before before you weigh in and all that. So it's completely fair. I had a terrible day 3. I couldn't get to my fish. And I rolled the dice and I just went fishing. I loved it though. And I had an opportunity a little bit better than what I had, but I got the polygraph. So anxiety, it is a little nerve wracking. I went to some hotel and went and did the polygraph. I had 3 different things on my fingers. I had something on my waist, my chest. And I had a blood pressure thing. So it's the real deal. But passed with no issues at all. Yeah. But and so like I'm not against it at all. But naturally, that stuff is a little nerve wracking. Yeah, it's just, that's just human nature. Yeah. And even the polygraph lady was like, "Oh, I could tell the difference between like being like anxiety, nervous, whatever you want to call it, and a lie." I was like, "Oh, all right, good. I ain't got nothing to worry about." And it was over in 30 minutes. So
yeah, it's like I said, you ain't got nothing to worry about it. And it, like you said, it is. I take 2. I took 2 before I even left back home.
Yeah.
Me and my dad had won a Fisherman's Choice. We come in second, and Skeeter up before we left. So, I mean, hell, I was already warmed up to take another one. Hell, I might as well go ahead and take a third one too. But I didn't have to finish another spot. I wasn't mad because we got to go home and eat. Because I didn't eat any day of the tournament. Like I was strictly drink me a Mountain Dew or something throughout the day, and that was it. And so I was ready for us to get back to the house and cook us some chicken and stuff that night.
So we got the Pasquotank out of the way. We're here in Chapin, South Carolina, here with the Lake Murray boys. They all know who they are. What is on the agenda this week before we head to Hartwell?
We're going to definitely get some filming done. I was talking to Aaron, kind of laying things out. Definitely want to hopefully there's some good bed fishing going on because we don't get to do a lot up in Oklahoma. So we're definitely going to try to kick out a few YouTubes. Like me and Aaron are planning on going tomorrow together, put one out, and then maybe do one for just me, and then me and Blake are maybe going to jump in the boat together and film one together. I don't know. We might go somewhere else instead of right here.
Yeah. But we got something lined up Friday that might be pretty neat.
That Friday trip, if that all pans
we're ready
out,
for Friday.
Well, we might get old Docs. He might take us out, get some of that striper right here on Murray. That'd be fun. Just do something different. I mean, because we bass fish all the time, but to get to go do something different, and I mean, out here there's so many different things. You can go offshore, you can go red fishing, you can go, then get into some of the great bass fishing, and so it's a neat place out here on the coast.
If you guys are watching this, want to see something cool on the YouTube and have an idea, shoot us what you think would be cool. We're always open for ideas. Like I said, we're going to pump content out this week. That's the whole plan. We're off all week. we're on Lake Murray. It's a hell of a fishery. We're gonna stack up some content, go filming, go fishing, have some fun. But if you guys have any other ideas, obviously our schedule's pretty tight here in the next month and a half. But doesn't mean we can't do it here in the future. But I mean, that just opens the gates to a lot of things. Luke and I try and brainstorm ideas, but you know, he's a little slower. He's from Oklahoma, and I don't fish.
Easy.
So we got
But,
one asking, we got spawn or post spawn. Everything's
I
really
think
going
all
on.
three.
Everything's going on.
I think there's gonna be more post spawn than spawners, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Okay, you go fish those.
Yeah, yeah. I only say that because of where we're at in North Carolina. That there was, I think, more.
Okay, you go for your North Carolina fish. I'll fish you South Carolina.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking geography,
Yeah.
where they're located.
We got, was it a Welcher's deal solely a location?
Absolutely.
I really think it was. It was that river area in there, in my opinion, I could be wrong, is the most consistent river out of all of
It was a little colder too.
Yeah, and it's deeper
Because
water.
It's deeper.
The wind doesn't affect it as much. It still did drop some just because when the water blows out. But it was strictly that area.
And then also on top of that, where he was at, channel swing, cold front, full moon.
Yeah.
Like just,
it lined up perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
he had the perfect storm happen. So
and he's a great fisherman.
oh,
too.
he's a phenomenal fisherman.
Yeah.
So
I just laughed when I seen this comment come in.
I'll let Aaron do it. I
This
mean,
is funny.
okay.
okay.
Blake, you say it.
No, this is actually funny. So I made a post earlier on my Instagram, Facebook, and I wanted to make sure I said his name right. So I said, "Hey, Aaron, type your last name in." I literally handed him my phone to type his name in.
If anybody, hey, how do you know, anything for Aaron, you know, if they need content or whatever, I just literally go to my phone and pull up his Instagram and screenshot it and send it to him because I couldn't spell his last name if I tried to.
How about this? I don't even know what his last name is.
Go ahead. Let's hear you say it.
So it's easy.
Now, let Blake say it first.
No, I don't know. I don't know what his
Say it.
name is. Yeah.
You don't know
Do
my
it.
last name?
No.
Try.
It's Caps.
Just look at it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, it's script check. So like you're writing out a script and you're writing out a check. That's it. Script check.
Blank
I
check.
know it does not look anything like
No.
that. But I always tell people, easy to say, hard to spell. I'll give you an example. I literally, I'm almost 30. I have one person that has looked at my ID in 30 years and literally said my last name back to me. And I'll
Well,
never,
a Walmart clerk or something.
you'll never guess who it was. Walmart cashier looked at my ID when I was buying beer and she was like, script check. And I went, huh? She goes,
That's
oh,
me.
I graduated with somebody. And it was not anywhere close to where I live. But I was like,
Definitely
wait,
related.
what? Like, yeah, I know somebody that's related to me, but I don't know them because there is no way you know that by looking at it because I will slow this really far down for you, but it's spelled SKRZYPCZAK. And that was slow for me, but I'm sure it was fast for you guys.
Yeah,
But,
everybody else is done. Yeah, we're going.
so, but yeah, it's, you know, a random question, but it's funny, you know.
We got a
Something
crappie
about a
fishing
woolly
contest.
bug here. Look at
We're
this.
gonna be flipping a woolly bug much. I don't know. I do like the bedfish with woolly bug. It's just a really versatile bait as far as for flipping. I just really like that bait. I mean, I don't know because I'm biased because of winning with it or what, but it's just been a staple of mine. One reason, heck, we can afford to throw them.
I bet I'll be throwing
It's cheap.
a Yum Dinger will be a player.
Oh, Yum Dinger's going to be a big time player next week at Hartwell. I mean, a wacky worm in the Carolinas is a staple. I mean, that's just it's good across the country, but South Carolina, for some reason, it's just North Carolina both. It's a phenomenal bait.
Right there's your next question. Was Welcher's blowout
Yeah, we
solely a
said that.
location
Yeah.
deal?
We
You got
talked
it
about
already?
that. Yeah, you're behind us there, buddy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh,
What about crappie? You said something about crappie.
A crappie fishing contest.
I'd like that.
We'd probably do that in Oklahoma so we can catch some giants.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going.
Yeah, I bet so. Warrigal
That's it.
Jig. Christie won the classic at Hartwell I was talking to Chris earlier how far it
Jiu-jitsu.
was. Yeah, he went on jiu-jitsu. It might be a player, just because flipping docks, that's going to be a thing. I mean, Hartwell's always got fish on
Best
docks.
after post bomb.
Yeah. It could, I'll probably still flip a woolly bug though,
I'm a
but
jig fisherman. I do like
like a
flipping.
jig?
Yeah, I like.
I
jig.
like the
But I'm
heavy
a
finesse.
I'm a
is very
War
good.
Eagle heavy finesse
That's-
guy. That's what
that's
I
a-
would throw more than the
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu.
Just because a little smaller profile. I mean, we're gonna have spotted bass and largemouth are gonna be the.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the two.
I got a
species there,
question.
but
Could it be one on spotted bass? He says
will not
no.
be one on spotted bass.
All right.
Someone will top. There'll be several guys top 50 on it.
Yeah.
But it's. I don't know. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Do you see who that is? Clint.
Oh,
Grippy looking exotic.
Flew out the past the point.
Clint, we know you're watching. You're a good dude, man.
Good boy, good boy. Yeah, I need it. Clint, give me a holler because we got to figure out. We got to film some stuff for Yamaha before I head out of the Carolinas. So give me a shout. We'll get that figured out. What we got to shoot on it. Maybe a Saturday or Sunday. So we're pretty booked up till then.
When you leave the Carolinas, where you go?
Home.
Are you going to fish that one tournament?
God, I'd like to fish it. I don't know. I'll decide. I mean, I'm missing my boy, missing the girl, and to get back and see them because heck, Lakin's been he was starting to crawl a little bit. I mean, he was getting around pretty good, but Chris keeps sending me videos, and this little sucker, he is all over the place, going wide open, pulling up on everything. She puts him in his little walker, and he's a hell big time. She figured out the shop is not childproof. He loves to walk by or to walk, whatever, in the walker, go by and just take his hand and slap everything off the shelves. So
They learned that from you.
no, not me. I was a good kid. He still doesn't know how to sleep, but he has been. It sucks being gone. Not gonna lie, and I miss Landry. She came in first overall the other day in her gymnastics meet, so that was pretty awesome. Wasn't there for that, so that kind of sucked. But that was awesome for her. And I don't know, Dad and Jason have been doing some dang good back home. I think Dad has not. Hell, me and him fished. We fished 2 together. He come in second. We won. He fished the next day. He won it. Fished a jackpot. Won it the next day. And then him and Jason fished another deal this week, and he fall and come in second. So he's on a roll. So
He don't need you.
I think we ought to fly him into Hartwell.
Yeah, just let him. Hell, he might have the camera guys put him in the back and let him sit down.
I'll give him a camera. He can hold the DJI.
Yeah,
I'll be all right.
but what we got?
Clint just talking dumb. You know what I mean?
Typical Clinton.
Yeah, something about blowing a turkey's head off. Oh yeah.
Uh,
No, dude. I mean, I have some people telling me that they could take me on turkey hunting this week, but I might. You just never know. But
You
we
take
got
me.
stuff to do.
or yeah,
I
see,
don't.
My
Three.
boss has got me on a fine line this week. So
Yeah, we got to get some content. The first couple ones was kind of tough because it was just so quick back to back and doing things and we're in a great place right now. I mean, the weather's going to be good this week finally, so we're definitely going to kick out some content and get things back in action because this last couple of weeks was rough.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do a live on Thursday. Things it was
Or Saturday.
it was just not panning out. We had so much stuff going on every evening. It was working on stuff, trying to get tackle and everything. It was
Well, and
just
plus
too
the
much
place
stuff.
was so big. So like we'd fish so dark, but then like driving home was an hour
after dark,
plus.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was,
And it was
tough.
raining.
Yeah, and even the tournament days were you're tightening down, batting down the hatches because you knew the next day we're going to go out and do the same thing. So we'll get back in action. This week's going to be good, and I was looking forward to this week probably more than any of it, just to get the content. It's because it's tough. I mean, Aaron lives 2 days away from me, so it's hard to just get everything lined up to do. So
I don't think we ever got 7 hours of sleep in a day in practice. Like it was just it wasn't like
hell,
we
you
wasn't.
did. Hell, you used to sleep on the couch half the time.
just one night.
I got Snapchats to prove it.
You fell asleep before I did.
He's all dozing off. I was ready for bed. Like you
Yeah.
you were so wore out.
But that was
After
also the
practice.
day after the tournament. That was not the.
That was your all's fault.
That was Saturday night.
Self-inflicted for
Yeah.
y'all. I don't know why
Uh-oh.
Luke's.
Something. What?
I can't.
God dang, our eyes are bad.
I don't know.
30 right. Oh, yeah. Hit that on the head.
Pretty much. I don't know. I keep things lined up. I just gotta have backups, like and which you want to rig for anything you can possibly think about. And I'm not swift enough to change normally. We've been out rigging rods today and just to kind of for this week to get things ready. And Aaron's like, what do you got all this crap for? He said, you got 30 rods out, you're going to use, 5. He said, if you got more than 8 on the front deck and 4 of them don't have the same thing on it, you're probably not going to be worth the darn. And he's right. I guess because I'm so hard-headed on it. I'm not a guy that can put 15 rods on the deck and say, oh, I've got a swim bait, jig, all this, and just bounce around. I kind of get dialed into something that I feel comfortable doing, and I'm hard to get out of it. And that's probably why I haven't won very many. I mean, because
I'll follow up on that question.
I think it's because I fished so many one-day derbs back home.
Yeah.
And you can dial in one thing and say, I've only got to catch 5 fish. And if I can catch 5 good ones, it's over. Well, trying to catch 5 fish each day doing that, and if you get behind a guy doing something similar, it's tough. And you're going to fish behind guys in this deal.
Yeah.
I mean, they find the area I fished on day one, I was like, I didn't see anybody in there hardly. I roll in there first day, there's 9 boats in.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody's like, damn, it was great in practice in here, wasn't it? I was like, yeah, apparently so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll follow up on that question. Like going into Hartwell, like, so we came from the Florida swing to here. It's been very shallow water stuff. And so like today when I was rigging my boat, I was excited to put different stuff in the boat compared to what we've been doing. I love fishing shallow, but I also like fishing
doing
deep.
something different.
Yeah, like what we're going into. So
Tell you what, you fish deep next week.
how about
Go
this?
ahead.
Not
Now-
necessarily deep, clear water. How about that?
You just go ahead and fish deep. It's clear. If you can see the bottom, you need to go out deeper.
Gosh dang, dinner looks good. I ain't kidding.
Oh, yeah. And we got birthday girl here.
No.
Yeah. So it's Anna's birthday today. So she's just turned 21.
Yeah.
And so that's who we're staying with, Anna and Chris and stuff. So happy birthday to
Oh,
Anna.
I turned 21 like 15 years.
15 years ago, she said she turned 21. Doesn't look a day over 21, though, huh?
Oh, this is a good one. David wants to know how the celebrity tournament went at the Classic. We never touched on that.
I let down Roach.
Did you get any cheeseburgers?
No, I let him down. Like that was he had never caught a largemouth.
But you can't.
Yeah.
But you can't fish until he catches
No, I
one,
could
right?
fish.
And you let him down.
I only caught one. It
Oh
wasn't
my
like I just wrecked
God.
him in front of
Was
him.
it
I thought
rough
you
out
couldn't
there?
even. I thought you couldn't even fish until he
Yeah.
caught one.
Well, if that had been the case, we'd still be there. But no, it didn't take much weight, but the wind blew 30, 40 mile an hour of the day. It was a miserable day, but we had a great day. Like he was phenomenal. He was more pumped up about that. It's like me going to the Classic pumped up. That's how he was. Since I didn't fish it this year, that was close enough for me.
I just know how windy practice was.
Oh, it was brutal, but it was fun. Like he was a stand-up guy. Like me, he rode. I took him back to the motel, and it was a 45-minute drive, and he's really just a nice person. Like, I mean, he does go crazy on his shows and stuff like that, but behind the scenes, just really getting to talk to him. Really down-to-earth guy, and cares about his family, and really had a good time with the guy. Like I hope we get to do it again. I'd really love to bring him to Oklahoma to catch a 7, 8, 9, 10 pounder. That'd be fun.
Did I tell you how I figured out that you fished with Cheeseburger Randy?
No.
So we were all sitting at the Omni Hotel and stuff, and there was a little bar downstairs, and we were all having a good time and whatever. And I went to the bathroom, and I seen him, and like I recognized him and stuff. And then like he was talking to someone. He was like, "Yeah, I did a celebrity tournament today." He's like, "I went with that Luke Palmer." I was like, "You went with Luke?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's my traveling buddy." He's like, "Oh, really?" Then went off into that. Like, I didn't even, because they kept it pretty secretive, like on who was fishing with who.
Yeah, it was kind of one of the deals there. There was a lot of big Diesel Dave and the guys were there. Like I've
It was
watched
just
their
so
show.
funny
It was,
how like
yeah, it was.
I figured out who you fished with.
Yeah, that was a neat deal. Like I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. Like we went to's got some big ones. I think Paul caught a 10 something. So it was pretty cool. So I think that aired on Roku a few weeks ago. I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope to never have to do it again, but it was cool.
Yeah.
Like outside the classic, I would do it, but I don't want to ever have to do it again at a classic.
Yeah.
So
If I don't catch them next week, I'll be doing it.
we'll get on them. It's a long season. Like it seems like we hadn't even fished this year.
No.
I guess because I had a month and a half off because I was.
But I can guarantee you by the end of May, you're going to feel like you fished.
Because we'll be wide open.
Hartwell, Lake Fork, Sabines, all in 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So
That's going to be.
I'm excited for the Sabine. I don't know about 4.
Sabine's going to be fun and miserably hot. We got another great family to stay with, Baby Docs and Marissa, and they're a lot of fun. Which they're actually from the Carolinas out here originally, and that's how we met them. Was we got Docs. We call him Baby Docs, and his name's Daniel. But Docs and Baby Docs were best buddies before they moved out, and or he moved to Texas and stuff for the Coast Guard. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good trip down there. The fishing, it'll be tough, but you catch a lot of fish down there. It's not like you just don't catch anything. The size is smaller, but that's just the gist, But the crowds are phenomenal. The food's great. We're gonna be a little late for the crawfish season, but I'm sure we'll still go get some crawfish and stuff, and it'll be fun. Looking forward to it. I mean, not looking forward to the 119-degree heat and no wind, but it'll be fun. So,
all right, we're gonna wrap this thing up here in about 4 minutes. So if you guys got any more questions, we're gonna line them up, hammer them out.
yeah,
We got to eat some dinner.
Chris cooked his filet mignon tonight.
Is that what he
Nice
was
of him.
cooking?
Yeah. Well, since I put together all the chairs and stuff today, while you guys sat around the campfire and hung out your boat and got you a nice sunburn. So,
Did you
We're
get
the
it?
ones paying for it, not you.
oh yeah, that's your own fault. Self-inflicted again.
Yeah, I know how to run it. Chris is over there. He's ready to rock and roll.
He's just waiting on us. Hell, he's about ready for bed. He's got to get up at 4 o'clock, get to the cookway and get the grill started, get us a big block. That's what we're going to get in the morning, big block sandwich. Big block sandwich.
If you're ever around the Chapin area, South Carolina, stop at the Quickway, get you a big block sandwich.
Quickway number 3.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
number three.
Number 3.
Get you a big block. Say that you love Anna. That'll get you some brownie points.
She won't be there till about
Yeah.
9 because she got to drop the kid off at school. And then, no, they do. The bologna sandwich.
Oh, my God, that food smells
It
delicious.
does.
So,
She's just kind of rubbing her face now. She's overeating her steak right in front of us. Oh, we got steak, Brussels sprouts, potatoes,
Potatoes, yeah. And red velvet cake.
and
say no
Homemade,
more.
right?
Say no more. We're going to wrap this thing
Yeah,
up.
he
What do you
says
say,
the weather going to
boys?
be better. So far, the weather's supposed to be phenomenal
yeah.
this week. Today it was hot. It was in probably what
Yeah,
low
we're
to
working
mid
on our
80s.
tans today.
Yeah, it was for us.
It was
from
hot.
what we've been in. We were wearing bibs
It
and
was
sweatshirts.
hot.
And
About
freezing
froze
to
the other day.
And but this week it's kind of looking up. I'm sure next week at Hartwell the wind's going to blow 40 mile an hour, and the biggest cold front in April is going to show up. Which it's Easter on
Yeah.
Sunday, and back home there's always a cold front comes through at Easter.
That is true.
So that way the kids can't go hunt Easter eggs in their little dresses and stuff and not get muddy. And
We're gonna have another live before then, Easter, right?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, next Thursday.
All right, we'll
This
talk about.
Thursday.
Oh, this Thursday.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Easter.
We're gonna
Then.
rock one out Thursday.
Sure, maybe.
We'll see.
You don't know.
Thursday or Sunday. I don't know. We might pull Sunday right before
Yeah.
practice, and that way he gets to see the lake and at least look at it and get his predicaments. And we'll tell you how this week went filming.
Yeah.
That could be a good thing.
Yeah.
We'll shoot for. Let's go on Sunday on this next one.
If not, happy Easter, everyone.
Yeah, because then you guys might want to see what happens on Friday if things work out.
Yeah.
That can be a cool trip. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it works out. If not, I'm gonna be fishing a derby on Saturday with one of our buddies on Murray. So
Me and Aaron are gonna jump in that derby too.
Sure.
you two can fish it. How do you?
And then when
Yeah.
we win, you're really going to feel bad.
That's fine. You'll have to split the money with me because if you top 10, then I get percentage.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, appreciate y'all jumping on here again for another Tourney Talk Live. Like I said, we'll probably be back on here Sunday night if everything goes smooth. We'll be at Hartwell by then, staying with Hampton. and his family, and that's not good. But anyways,
No, we'll have a
We'll
good time.
see you.
Looking forward to it.
we'll see you at
See you
Hartwell.
guys Sunday.
See ya. Let's eat.